All right. So, bad news. I didn't get that much done. I only got 4 more pages. I wish I'd gotten more. I did not. But we had all kinds of like weird stuff happen. I needed that nap yesterday. I was desperate. I was on the verge of passing out, and then had my sleep. I had terrible sleep last night. Oh, rough. This is real rough. But I'm coming up to where we're rounding out the chapter, and then we'll move into like the post. It'll say chapter 22, but it won't be it's not a very long one. Just basically setting up 2 weeks later. Whew. All right, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Let's see other things I did. Watched JJK, was really good. All the way up to where we're at now, which was the to be continued. So we'll get the Culling Game Part 2 eventually. It ended off on a fantastic battle, 3-way fight. Well, technically 4-way fight, but meanwhile, Sentenced to Be a Hero had its finale, and man, oh man, I'm looking forward to when season 2 comes. So who knows how long that's going to take? But yeah, Sentenced to Be a Hero was genuinely fantastic. Whew. And I definitely want to talk about it when we get back on Monday. So I think we'll do Zootopia 2. Maybe I should do it on Tuesday. So we'll do Zootopia 2 on Monday, because I have a feeling we'll have a lot to say on it. And then we'll do Sentenced to Be a Hero on Tuesday. Talk about that entire series and everything like that. Especially now that more of the mystery has been revealed in the finale. Oh. Starship Troopers Extermination had a crazy new update where they actually have the Marauder suits in. So that should be fun. I haven't played it yet. I've got the download. Haven't played it. Definitely excited for it. And then, probably what I'm most excited for, we got something special announced right after I had stopped the stream. And so we'll go over this in pretty exhausting detail too. Also, I learned some more. So, oh boy, you thought Wolf 21 was interesting before, which also I found out I did the classic mistake. I swapped the numbers and the letter around. It's supposed to be number and then biological sex. So it was 21M, not M21. And, it's 42F, not F42. So, yeah, fair enough. I had him backwards. Had him Becky words. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a moment too. But first, we'll read what we're up to. What we're up to now. We're at 281 pages. So it's looking like this will be just under 300 pages. Maybe 300 pages on the dot. If I go over, well, it's no big deal. But it's looking like it's going to be about around there. So again, I'll back up a little bit with what we've done. and then we'll continue from there. Those who joined the dwarf at the bar, though off-put by the fact he raced ahead to ensure he was safely back to a wall, looked upon the scene of chaos. Chairs were toppled all over the place, and there was a large pool of blood on the floor, which the dwarf visibly grimaced at. The fact the pool of blood was so prominently displayed in a cleared ring of tossed tables and chairs made it stand out all the more, and naturally made some of the townspeople curious. Deputy Harold Oaken was the first to point directly at it, and then looked at the dwarf, who was now comfortably and assuredly with his back to the booze at the bar. "What the hell's happening here?" Harkus simply let out a gruff, rumbling bellow, as everyone turned to acknowledge the bloodstain, and then back to the dwarf, who rested his hands on the bar top. "That prick o' a horse son, Connor, tried to kill me. He done me right in the back." Harkus slammed his hands on the counter. "Can you believe it, lads? That drunken gobshite tried to punch me ticket." "How in the hell did you survive?" Harold came up to the bar top and settled on a stool, and from the collective attention it was clear everyone was interested. The dwarf leaned back from the counter and started to think carefully, for he wasn't sure what to say, before he finally let out a sigh. "Well, first to understand, me people, as dwarves, have a bit o' a history, natural. I mean, to be expected, aye. Well, part of that history be known to us as to wisdom in the stone. Messages left to us by our ancestors. Well, part of that wisdom is to hatred o' the cursed wolves, you see." The audience was still waiting and nodding, eager to hear the conclusion. "That is something, well, I am nae a fan o' everything me people do, you see. But I was very cross with them wolves here. Made clear me disliking of 'em. Even so, they found me here and saved me. It kept that bastard Connor from getting his revenge." Actually, no, I don't want to do getting his revenge, because Harkus wouldn't see it that way. Getting his petty vendetta. We'll do that. Yeah. Because revenge makes it sound like that Harkus did something wrong. Harkus's only wrong that he did was the fact he existed in Connor's mind. Right? Connor invented all the rest of the ills. The bar was quiet for a time as Harkus looked down and drummed his fingers along the surface of it. He was deep in thought about a lot of things, especially words given him before that he had so casually thrown back in the sheriff's face. Finally he nodded his head and clicked at his teeth before looking up. "They been doing a lot, and there be nae need for it. That White Wolf was right. Them lot could have easily just pulled up and retreated into the woods and left us all here to die. Nae need for this town for their own survival, and yet they chose nae to do so. I only true realized that it was mere in words when they went to fight that demon." Harkus sighed some and tensed a little before he offered a half-hearted smile. "Okay, nae exact, but when I spat back at him again and they so casually brushed me aside, I realized they had been treating me and me hatred with kid gloves, you understand? And then they went out willing to fight against a creature from Myth." Jeremy ruminated on his thoughts, his musings plain for all around to see, and thus Harkus turned, as best he could, to get a drink from the bar and poured him a glass. As it was settled in front of the man, he carefully lifted it up and took down the entire thing, a sharp burn of the spirits in one gulp. "You think you have a handle on these things, Ironforge? You know what your life will be like tomorrow, the next week, plans for the coming month. In less than a week, my world was turned upside down. Things of myth are no longer far-fetched. They are the new normal. I saw the woman I've loved with all my heart, bickered and argued with more than anyone else, shared in the good and the bad. His words were starting to trail off, the sadness creeping into him as he leaned down and rested his head against the rim of the glass. Harkus then tapped the counter top and looked him squarely in the eyes when he turned. You still got your son. He still got his da, so nae be dwelling on just a bad. I put nah there, nay. Your wife was a good woman, and she'll be missed. I can assure you of that. Now is the time for us to all come together. For them feckin' assholes thought they could just run us down like cattle, and we proved them wrong. That necromancer, or be it a warlock, whatever the truth, is nae dead, and will be rotting into hells for all eternity. And your wife, she be at rest. I do believe that with all me being. The dwarf poured another glass of the strong spirits for Jeremy, while Harold and a few others settled up to the bar and tapped for their own drinks. One of them was Jackson Weaver, who offered a smile and clapped Jeremy on the back. It would be a shame to drink alone, so let us drink in good company and celebrate our victory, and then mourn for those that we lost in equal measure. The old man didn't wait for Jeremy to respond, and instead took his glass and clinked it to each and every one of them now settled at the bar. Harkus was not one to be left out, as he poured himself a drink and did much the same, for everyone shared in the warmth of the alcohol's burn. On top of the bunker, watching as Derek was carefully moving from each corpse, was Deputy Corey Vander and Deputy Andrew Talek. The pair were casually observing the scene so strangely surreal that it offered them gallows humor as the poor, nervous Gravar kept flinching at any corpse that may still move. Andrew offered a drink flask over to Corey, who accepted it gladly and took a sip before tensing up and coughing a bit. This brought a bit of laughter from the former, who gave Deputy Vander a firm pat on the back and a warm smile. I'm glad you made it through, Corey. Well, most of us did. I suppose that's a blessing enough. Andrew nodded at his words and was about to speak when another person joined them on the roof. A man of medicine, now wearing the weight of the burdens he bore from the day's exhaustions. Hey, evening, Doc. Evening? Oh, fuck, is it that late? Andrew gave a chuckle and nodded before waving a hand towards the horizon. The sun will be down in a few more hours. Oh, jokester. Means we still got plenty of time to relax. Tony Fitzpatrick carefully settled in against some sandbags, now being used as makeshift furniture that the need had gone out of them. Corey then offered the drink over to the doctor, who took a sip of it and hissed as the strange taste of chocolate mixed with the burn of some booze. Oh, feck, what is this stuff? I call it cocoa pow, Andrew said with a smirk on his face, before he took the flask away and took a long swig of it. I never made it before. Well, I can understand why. It's shit, Andrew, Corey said before Tony nodded in agreement. Hang on a second. You knew and you offered it to me anyways? The doctor now turned his gaze from Andrew onto Corey, who wore the biggest shit-eating grin on his face. Misery loves company, Doc. Tony groaned and waved a dismissive hand while Andrew looked at the flask. Just something I always wanted to try, you know? Kind of a bucket list thing. Slipped my mind for the longest time. Could have tried it days ago, but only remembered it once all the fighting was done. Well, whatever booze you put in was a terrible choice. Try something smoother. I'll keep that in mind. Andrew let the flask slip back into his pocket as he leaned against the encircling wall of the roof and let his eyes trace from Derek and then over to Garrick's, who was carefully drawing out a spell on the ground. You know, my old man, he was a hell of a father. Would always tell me about Mom, the dangers she would face. When I was really young, I thought they were just such wondrous stories. Oh, I used to believe them really early. But you grow from that eventually. Then when that driver took him away from me, I didn't know what to do at first. I hadn't realized the world I was actually in until all those friends of my father who would treat me with such kindness came around. Wasn't sure what they all wanted. They simply offered out a hand and took me in themselves. From there I learned so much more about how the world really works and the blood that runs in my veins. Dad had kind of kept me on the periphery, for all those stories about my mother were true and the dangers were real. The others didn't begrudge him that. Sometimes you want children to grow up with delusions of a better life, and burdening them with knowledge of the real world seems cruel. I had the same reaction to finding out the truth as you both did. I thought Hilda and John were going to eat me. But they sat there and played with some of the other children. Their parents had wanted them to know early and get used to the true face our kind could one day wear. Different style from my father, to be sure. But I almost feel like I treated more specially because of it, being unveiled. So I hope the both of you, hell, this whole town in truth, but I'll at least settle for you two, understand just how truly dangerous and yet majestic the world is. Corey and Tony both looked at each other before he turned their gaze to Andrew, who turned to offer them a smile. I said smile in turn. I didn't like that. Well, I will say I had a rather negative reaction to it at first. Took me a bit to calm down. Well, I was much the same. Seeing the sheriff like that kind of, well, you can imagine. Especially while we were being attacked by skeletons and zombies. I mean, come on. I understand you both. I suppose I'm feeling kind of wary now that it's all been exposed in the open. Hope you won't mind if we try and make it a town secret. Oh, not at all. Besides, it's a small community. It would be pretty simple to just say, in the heat of the moment, people hallucinate and other dangers not there. Or hell, that necromancer was fond of stitching bodies together. You can just say she sewed some wolf heads on a few zombies for... Andrew snapped his fingers and smiled at Corey. Funny you should say that. I had the same idea the chieftain had. That's what we're up to now. The discussion, the rooftop discussion is basically going to be the last bit of the chapter, and then we will go into the finale, which is chapter 22, Times Advance. Alrighty. Woofta. Throat's still a little rough, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. Nope. We got a new update. I'll update that real quick. Okay, so. Some things. Firstly, what do you guys think? Again, we're still winding down. This is the kind of the chapter to mellow things out after all the battles and everything. And then we're going to be going into basically the stuff that sets up what the new normal will be. And what other future threats might be coming for the town of Point Crescent. I need this. I gotta find the correct one. So this one's an alleged picture. Oh, here we go. This one's the correct one. Hell yeah. Okay. Oh, so that is a actual true picture. Okay. Okay. Put that one there. Okay. Good. Okay. Right. So no thoughts from anybody? No thoughts, head empty? That's why. I think it's Taeyeon. Hold on. Let me check. Me. Janky. Okay. All right. Brain is 60%. Well, that happens. Okay, the only thing I don't remember, but I guess it's not as important for it. So, you remember we told the story yesterday, or should I say I told a story yesterday, about Wolf 21, the most legendary wolf that has ever existed in Yellowstone Park, and probably the most famous wolf out there. Literally, like, people call him, like, His Majesty Wolf 21 and everything. Who always did the impossible. Well, as it turns out, there's a reason that he always did the impossible. Because he had a father figure who did the impossible. And his father, and this is a picture of Wolf 21 in his young days with his father. So, his father figure was not his biological father. There was a female, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was Wolf 10 is the female. She has a mate. Her and her mate move to the north edge of the park. They are in the very north edge of the national park. And this is a closer look at him. Move to the north edge of the national park, and the male goes out to hunt to bring back food for the pups, and the male gets illegally poached. So Wolf 10's mate is now dead. That is a serious blow to the population of the wolves that have been reintroduced in the park. The dude who did it got arrested, put in jail, and fined and everything. But yeah, so that was very much a bad start. And they think, oh God, what's going to happen? We're going to lose like 23% of the wolves in one go here because the female wolf 10, she can't go out and hunt and leave the pups behind because when they're that young, they can't survive the cold. They will literally get frostbite and die. Oh, they'll go into hypothermia, not frostbite. They'll go into hypothermia and die. So the National Park Service comes up with a plan. And they went to an unlikely source. This brings us into Wolf 8, who is one of the other legendary wolves in the national park. Wolf 8 was part of the very first wolves being introduced into the park. He was the runt of the litter. And you can kind of tell from this picture, right? He's a little more small than all of the other wolves, right? Especially when you compare to Wolf 21. Wolf 21 is a behemoth of a wolf. He is an absolute tank. Wolf 8, tiny. He was the runt. He was only a little bit bigger than the females. So he was a very small wolf. And what they noticed was that he had a strange personality. He was always bullied by his brothers because he was in a litter of 4 male pups. And he was the teeny tiniest of them all. And what they did was when they took the wolves from Canada and they brought them into the park, they realized, first and foremost, wolves have a homing instinct. So if they would have just released them immediately, the wolves would have gone out the north side of the park and continued north, likely getting killed or who knows what, trying to get back to the Canadian wilderness that they were homed in. So what they did was they did acclimation pens instead, and they kept them in these pens for extended periods of time to try and get them used to the idea of like, no, this is your home now. You're not going back north, this is your home now. Because they could only put these pins on the northern side of the park. So they're like, okay, if they decide to homing instinct, they're going to be outside of the park within a couple hours. So we need to try to acclimatize them to the idea that, no, this is your home. This is where you live. You're not going back to Canada. You're going to stay here in Yellowstone. And one of those groups that they brought, because they brought 3 different packs. So that way there was a bit of diversity as well, too. And they were going to release the packs in different spots. Wolf number 8 here, run to the litter, always bullied and everything. But they noticed a strange behavior with wolf number 8. Every time that the handlers, the park rangers and everything like that would come in to feed the wolves, all of the wolves, as in their natural instinct, fled away from the humans. Like they would try to get as far away as possible from the human handlers who were bringing in the food. It didn't matter the fact that there was free food that was coming out. They were living to their natural instincts. But they noticed something strange about Wolf 8. He didn't do the crazy thing. He didn't run up to the humans or anything. He didn't try to go get the food. And he was always the last one to eat. But wolf number 8 would jump up and stand between the handlers and the rest of his pack at all times. Like, it didn't matter that he wasn't even a yearling yet. He was acting like the alpha of the pack. He was acting like what the leader should do. He was standing between the supposed threat and his family. And they kept noticing that wherever they would go, or whichever side they would go in, he would just naturally do this. He would come up and he'd step in between and try to keep them away from his family. So, they have the runt of the litter, who has already shown that he will do whatever it takes to defend other wolves from what he perceives as threats, especially if he has a familial bond with them. Well, now that wolf number 10 has lost her mate because he's been poached, they come up with an idea. and they draw Wolf 8 towards Wolf number 10. Wolf 8 has no idea, like, he's never seen smaller wolves than him in his life. He has always been the tiniest wolf of the bunch. Like, barely bigger than a female. He is a runt. He's a tiny little thing. Wolf number 10 hears the little howls of the pups, and he investigates, and he goes into their den, and he finds all the little pups, and he starts taking care of them. Like, he just naturally, instinctually started taking care of them. Wolf 10 freaked out and was like, oh my god, strange wolf just went in my den and everything like that. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And she's watching and observing, and she's thinking about bolting because, it could be a dangerous threat. But then she realizes that Wolf 8 is actually taking care of the pups. So she comes over and meets with them, and the two get along decently well. Of those pups that he is taking care of is Wolf 21. Now, what's important about this, what's so vital about this, is that Wolf 8 adopts Wolf 21 and the other pups as his pups. He's going to take care of them. He has his own pups with Wolf 10 as well, but this is what he's decided he will do. He's going to take care of the puppies. He's going to make sure they're well looked after. So he actually engages in play with them. He actually teaches them things. And then the unfortunate happens, and the Druid Peak pack starts moving into the territory. Druid Peak with their alpha 38M comes nearby, and 38M is a monster of a wolf. He is a ruthless and very aggressive wolf. 38M goes to attack this wolf pack because, again, they're a rival pack. They're a threat. And what they said, what the rangers at the time who were observing said that in realistic sense, what Wolf 8 should have done is he should have legged it and left the pups on their own, because there's no way that the scrawny, the weakest of them would have any way to actually deal with a juggernaut. And they had a guided tour at the time because wolf tours are very popular in Yellowstone. They had a guided tour, and he was explaining to the people, well, here's what's all likely going to happen. If those two wolves fight, the bigger one's going to win, and it's going to be very gruesome. So Wolf 8 doesn't do what the natural instinct would do. Instead of him fleeing to protect himself and keep himself alive from a much bigger threat, Wolf 8 charges up the hill towards Wolf 38. 38M, much bigger, downhill advantage, charges down the hill to take on Wolf number 8. And they are thrashing, and they are fighting, and they are rolling around, and it is very, very violent. And then the winner of the fight stands up over the other, and this is when the Rangers realized that Wolf 8 had won. Wolf 8 had been always bullied. He was always the smallest of them. His brothers always picked on him and everything. So he was constantly eating dirt, basically. He was constantly the one that was being pinned. Wolf number 8 turns the tides, beats Wolf 38, but then, while the pups are nearby and watching, Wolf 8 lets 38 up and chases him off instead of killing him. Which, as the Rangers would go on to note later on, is likely where Wolf 21 learned not to kill a defeated adversary that surrenders. Once the fight is done and they surrender, it's over. You don't need to kill them. Which, again, as we said, Wolf 302 takes advantage of. Casanova. Yeah, so as it turns out, his adoptive father, Wolf 8, was also a legend in the park and was the one that had shown Wolf 21 how to be an actual alpha, how to stand up, how to fight for your family and everything, how to protect the pups, how to actually play with them and teach them and train them, and then to never kill off an opponent that surrenders. And that's what you have it here. Two of them together for the short time. And then Wolf 21 in his later years, Wolf 21 takes on as his personality trait. And the Rangers note that Wolf 21 was an incredibly good father to the pups that he had. And he would play with them all the time. Like, they would engage in, like, wrestlings and chasing and stuff like that. But he wouldn't, like, be too big or too bold for them. He would teach them each time, like, if they came for his front paws, he would battle them back a little bit. But if they bit at his back legs, he would immediately roll over and fold as if he had been bested. And what that does is not only does it build confidence in the pups, but it's training them to actually go for the legs. Go for the hind legs to bring down larger predators. Larger prey. Because remember, wolves are going after elk and bison and stuff. Like, we're talking about much, much bigger animals compared to them. So, yeah, as it turns out, Wolf 21, even more legendary than we thought, because his father, his adoptive father, was incredibly legendary. And it goes on, like, the whole dynasty from Wolf 8 to Wolf 21 to 302, like, holy shit. They weren't kidding when the National Park Service said, like, it's like Game of Thrones but with wolves. Oh, yeah. So again, fun more stories to talk about. And welcome, Metamorphical. Meanwhile, what got announced? You can see it in the corner up there. What got announced, like, just after I had finished streaming? Well, something incredible got announced just after I finished streaming. That leaked Hunter the Reckoning game was in fact real. It is in fact being worked on by Teon, the developers of RoboCop Rogue City, and we got an official trailer for it, which I feel like they likely had to do the trailer a little bit because they bungled the thing. I think they wanted to wait a little longer to get some more gameplay footage in, but I think they had to do it early because of the accidental leak, right? So let's go through the trailer. Have you seen me missing? So the first thing we know, it's going to take place in New York. 1080p, baby. So it's going to take place in New York City, and we are going to... Paradox owns the IP. They own the IP. Teon is the one that's working on the game. So, the other thing too is that what makes me so excited about this is because Teon have shown that they will autistically recreate a setting, right? It is hard to overstate just how, like, fantastic the setting and everything for RoboCop Rogue City actually is, because they dove in and they went to town and make sure everything was, like, as accurate to the setting of RoboCop as possible, which is just great.
You never know what it will be. The thing that changes you forever. The danger no one else sees.
The voices know the way. Now, here's another thing I got to talk about. I don't know as much about Hunter the Reckoning. I never really played many Chronicles and Hunters of the Reckoning. I always played like Werewolf the Apocalypse. That was my big jam, right? Now, I wanted to dabble into Mage the Awakening or Mage the Ascension. I can't remember what the old one is now that they're rebranding some of the names. So thank you for that. So I wanted to dabble into Mage. Never touched Changeling. Wanted to try Wraith because the concept is so interesting, but try and get a group together for Wraith. Good lord. And never touched Demon. Never touched Mummy. So, when this game launches, which will be next year, I'll just spoil that right now. They said it's going to be coming next year. But when this game launches, I'm going to have a treat going through everything, right? I'm going to have an absolute treat because I'll get to be a little more not totally blind because obviously I know a bunch about World of Darkness, but I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot specifically from Hunter the Reckoning's point of view. So I'll get to like kind of go in for like, ooh, like I can actually try to solve the mystery and solve the mystery sort of deal, instead of, knowing the ultimate meta of everything, how it works, stuff like that, and be able to jump to the conclusions immediately, right? I mentioned most people don't even know about Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. Most people don't know. I tried to show it on stream, but it is such a janky, barely held together game today because of modern hardware and everything, right? It falls apart like crazy. Easy, like, explosion into, corruptions and errors and, crashes the desktops. It is a rough game to get playing today.
Look.
Yeah, I kind of like this because, like I said, I'll get to go in with kind of like a little bit more of I don't get to know like everything going straight ahead, Though I will make some educated guesses on some stuff, especially because V5 changed a lot of things. V5 kind of was about depowering hunters, because to be fair, hunters were getting kind of ridiculous. Like, from the outside looking in, they were getting kind of super powered, which is, like, it's the same thing I kind of wanted, where in my setting for the Anvaki, where they're not as, like, powerful. They have a ton of abilities, stuff like that, and Shrade is powerful, but he's powerful because of his personality and the way he handles those things, right? But an Anvaki would have an uphill fight against a Wolverine. An Anvaki would have an uphill fight against a Mage. Like, an Anvaki would have an incredibly difficult fight against a Demon. And theirs is much more like what I find like a kind of an interesting magic, where they're borrowing the power of something else, so they have to like make deals and things like that. Whereas in Hunter the Reckoning, you had your imbuements and your edges and stuff, and it got a little ridiculous. So, yeah. I played it on my current PC through Steam and didn't have too many problems. Ooh, maybe the Steam version got updated. Ooh. Because I had tried the Steam version, I tried the GOG version. The GOG version worked a little bit better, but yeah. So, I'll have to try the Steam version. Oh, speaking of Steam, I guess a very brief aside. Now your PCSX games can be launched through Steam. Like, you can add them to your Steam library and play them through Steam. So, like, that's cool. That's neat. Like, I don't know who asked for that feature, but yeah, it's a nice addition.
shadows, waiting for its prey.
Well, Bloodlines, you have to use an unofficial patch. Like, holy shit. And it's not any shade on Troika. Troika would have fixed it in time, but it was one of those ones where you just have to. It's so, like, Source is so crazy that you really, like, we're talking before Source. Remember, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines came out before Half-Life. They were using a beta version of Source, okay? There's some struggles there. Can you hear the voices?
Shaw took control. There's nothing here.
We have learned.
So, this is another thing, and I'm going to talk about it when we talk about, like, what Teon has said about what the game will be like. This right here may seem like useless fluff, right? It is not. This is incredibly fucking important. Okay? This is, like... Well, we'll talk about this. I'll come back to this. But you can see they're trying to figure out, like, different things about him. They're doing an investigation on that police officer we just saw.
We've prepared, and we won't let it happen again.
I'll mention that in a second.
A reckoning is coming.
And then what they do is here for the last bit, they're going to show in-engine stuff, so pre-alpha gameplay and everything, and we get to see some cool stuff. So again, it's looking nice. So again, first person confirmed, first person shooter perspective. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. This is what made me, like, go, ooh. Oh, hang on. No. Oh, no. Hold up. Let me grab the stuff for it. Okay. Because this is a very special, a very special thing that we get to see. I'm going to try and grab it this time. Yes, perfect. Okay. This is a SAD agent. The SAD, the Special Affairs Department. SAD is a branch of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and they are basically referred to as the Inquisition. Wait, does this work? Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that's so nice. No, I never knew that, Anti-Boy Scout. I never knew that at all. Oh, look, yeah, see, look, if you actually look just barely, you can read Special Affairs Department. Yeah, they are basically associated as, like, the Second Inquisition. This is the rise of, like, government sanctioned hunter groups and things like that. They are the counter counter supernatural like division. So, we get to get some sad stuff. Ooh. They're probably going to have a lot of sad stuff. It's World of Darkness. It's a very grim setting. But the fact that we have a sad agent confirmed already, that's pretty fucking neat. I liked that. I'm not sure if this is going to be what the rots look like, but I'm going to make a guess. Could be wrong, but I'm going to say this is probably what the rots are going to be. And then here, I'm thinking, like, if I had to guess, because remember, it's V5. This could be either V5 Nosferatu, because I don't know why. They wanted to make them look prettier in V5, which is annoying. Or it's Gangrel. And this, I'm assuming, is a Black Spiral Dancer. Because most Gaian wolves, like overall majority, wouldn't look this fucking gnarly, right? So I'm thinking that this is a Black Spiral Dancer, and this is either Nosferatu or Gangrel. Which I would actually do quite often. What I'm gonna say here is I would do this. I would try stuff like this all the time, where I mislead, misdirections. We got to see it in Hunter the Parenting, where they tried to mislead one of the sites that Fatigue went to. He went to a site, and he described the rock and everything like that. And when you look at the picture, it's like, that's Gangrel. Wrong werewolves. Wrong type of werewolves. Now, well, that's the thing. Might not actually, because it depends on your creed and what edges and stuff you have, right? The baseball bat with nails might genuinely be your best weapon. So, some things that I want to talk about here especially, like this wall is incredibly important. Okay. Right. So, what a lot of people outside of World of Darkness, they think about tabletop gaming, right? They think about tabletop gaming, they think about Dungeons and Dragons. Where it's like, oh, well, there's going to be combat and dice rolls and things like that and positioning, stuff like that. There is. But World of Darkness is much more about, like, the intrigue, the social combat. Like, I know people, like, make a joke about it, like, talk no jutsu, right? But that's the overwhelming majority of what World of Darkness is. Because even if you're playing one of the supernaturals, even the Gauru, which is a lot more combat heavy of a game system, like the Werewolf the Apocalypse is much closer towards Dungeons and Dragons when it comes to like amount of combat versus talking, right? In all the other like settings, Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning and everything, it's much more talking, the social dynamics. And for Hunter the Reckoning especially, you have so much of this like building up evidence, going to the library to check out books, to try to find like hidden kernels of knowledge, talking to street bums to see if they've seen anything. Like, you're building up a web of trying to figure out what exactly you're up against, so that you can plan to go and fight it. The fights with the supernatural and Hunter the Reckoning, for the tabletop, mind you, were like, they were boss fights because you were a normal person. Now, again, that got kicked in the head a little bit because, 20th anniversary edition and everything. Hunters were pretty fucking powerful. But this was the point of it, is that you were a normal person that's fighting a supernatural threat. And what the developers have said is that this is intentional. This is what they want. So I'm going to pull this over. Whoop. Pew. So, first off, character creation confirmed. Personalize your character from their appearance to their merits and flaws before embarking on the hunt. Remember, when facing a millennia-old vampire or werewolf that can easily claw through iron, you are nothing more than a bag of flesh and bone. It's your choices that will shape the outcome of the hunt. You'll need more than luck to survive. So, this is very fucking important. This was the key aspect of Hunter the Reckoning. Knowledge is a weapon, right? They are making sure that we are going to do a lot of investigating. I like this. This is their plans, right? Lots of investigation building up to major conflicts with the supernatural. So you actually need to genuinely build up like your knowledge base to understand what you're fighting, how to better fight against it. How are you going to get your target? How are you going to find your target? How are you going to get to your target? Are you going to ambush your target? How are you going to ambush your target? Like, what do you need to actually destroy the target? In a lopsided war where you're outmatched by creatures that defy nature, fighting with your bare hands is not your best option. Instead, how about building a studded baseball bat, sharpening a silver blade, obtaining a gun, or any other esoteric tool from a shady cellar? Be prepared for anything that may happen, as you might only have one chance, one roll of the dice to eliminate your target. And then the other aspect is like, you won't be doing this alone. Hunters aren't a solo man thing. You form little cells. You form groups to go on these hunts. So, like, again, already very excited about what they have planned. I like it. I very, very much like where they're going with it. I like their whole thing that they're going to focus on the investigation aspect of it and putting the pieces together and stuff. So, woo, double thumbs up. And it's stuff like this. Like, be careful. Acting without precaution can draw unwanted attention. You risk ending up on a police record or garnering the attention of far more powerful organizations with little regard for your goals, only theirs. You're not the only player in the underworld war. 100%. Like, and you could be embraced by a vampire if they decide, like, it's always a threat with, like, Gangrel especially. When you go and fight Gangrel, if you put up a good enough fight, the Gangrel vampire might decide that he should turn you instead. Like, he should embrace you because you're somebody who is a survivor, somebody who's a fighter. And that's a big key thing that Clan Gangrel likes a lot. They like people who can survive. They like people who are fighters. So, yeah. And obviously, like, if you fuck around and get the special affairs department on your ass too, like, that could be a wild ride. Who knows? Maybe they'll serve you a bone. Maybe they'll try to dissect your ass to try to figure out how hunters work. So I'm very keenly interested. I like what I'm reading. I like that they're focusing on the whole investigation aspect of it, and they're downplaying the, like, fight, combat thing. I like that they're downplaying that, and they're mentioning much more about, like, hey, this is a total, like, you are David going against Goliath. Use your head. Think things through. And that this is going to be an RPG. This is not going to be a combat gauntlet-like game like the other Hunter the Reckoning games were. Not the text adventure games that came out more recently, but how the other Hunt of the Reckoning games were, where it was like Hunt of the Reckoning, Redeemer, Wayward, and everything, and Redemption. They were much more like gauntlet style, clear rooms, fight, 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 fight sort of games. So I'm interested. I want to see where this goes. I am. They're saying all the right things, and it is a company that obsessively dives into the minutia of a setting. So I'm interested. I am hoping for very good things. We'll have to see how it goes. I'll also have to see how the bathroom visit goes, because my stomach is telling me, get fucked, nerd. So
Be prepared.
one moment. Close out of everything here. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Yeah, I'll be right back a momento. You're an imbic. Oops, and I'm on the wrong screen. But fuck it. Who cares? Like I said, you saw what we're up to. We're at the very end. Casuals gonna hate this. Paying attention is asking too much. Good. Gatekeep out the casuals. Promising could really represent an interesting and unique experience in the making. Always be cautious about this flowery, glorified sales pitch. I agree. But at least they're trying in this right direction, you know what I mean? Like, I feel more... What's the way to put this? I feel more hopeful because a normal, like, a normie sales pitch would push more towards the combat, the thrilling nature of things, the epic battles against the supernatural and bring down the horrors of the world, right? That's more what, like, a normie sales pitch would be. But here, they're emphasizing the struggle. It's an overwhelming, one-sided, like, battle. You are on the losing side. You need to investigate, think things through, take your time, right? And I hate to say it, the number of people that are like, boo, I hate the fact that it's a first-person shooter. Why isn't it an isometric one like the original games? Could really be describing a very unique experience or just another shallow and boring stealth game with some meaningless bells and whistles and just to write the back of the box. Oh yeah. Werewolf the Apocalypse. Oh my god. Earthblood. Such a bad game. Oh my god. Even worse because of the because the fact it's a fucking Werewolf the Apocalypse game. Oh. As I said, it seems more like more grounded. You know what I mean? The sales pitch doesn't seem as like, what's the way to put it? Tried that pitch too, be fair? What do you mean, like it's not about the combat, it's much more a thinking game sort of thing? I don't remember that as the sales pitch. But granted, I lost interest in listening to their sales pitches after watching a couple of their previews, and their previews were so bad. This is the part that annoys the shit out of me about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Like, okay, I'm gonna talk about this. Every time they showed us it, it got worse. Pretend to be pseudo deep. I feel like Bloodlines 2 emphasized the combat a lot, though, and a lot of its footage and everything. They were showing the combat. And that's kind of where, like I said, it got worse as it went on. Like, Chris Avalon being on board was hype as fuck, and then they listened to the Me Too bullshit and fired him, and then were like, we were planning to get rid of all of his work anyways. Yeah, well, you really shouldn't have. Like, and then we what was it, a year or 2 years? And then we got our first look, and the first look was like, it's okay, right? Like, yeah, I can see the promise here. And you were talking to a Nosferatu information broker out in like some warehouse. No, not the warehouse. There's a different one. Don't get confused with the trailer that comes later, when it's a female protagonist and she has a fucking Navi voice in her head and shit. No, I'm talking about the original gameplay preview, where you go into a chase sequence and everything, right? And like I said, every time they showed us it, the visuals looked worse, the gameplay looked worse, and there was more emphasis on combat. It was a very strange, like, series of fuck-ups. Okay, so I need to make a bunch of wheat. All right. Spices. Which I assume will be going into something else. Kern. Cert. And any fuel. Okay. I blame him. That wasn't me. All right. Oh, you use the essences of life to make stuff. Okay. Oh, you actually need a sunflower to make a sunflower. I guess they might be for something important then later. Tree saplings. Okay. That's interesting. Requires farmer's workbench tier 2. Okay, so we gotta upgrade it first. Does the scarecrow do anything? Does it not do anything? What does nettled soil mean? I don't think I've ever heard that term before. Look it up. What does nettled soil mean? Hills, sand sheets, and rolling plateaus characterized by its rapid permeability and excessive drainage. Oh! So it's good farming soil. It doesn't have any other properties though. Oh, but good drainage is actually really good farming soil. So a lot of people don't realize, because, again, farming is so criminally fucking misunderstood, that you had the people in Chop and Chaz and everything like that building a farm plot on top of of cardboard boxes. Like, they literally broke up some cardboard boxes, put them down, and then threw some potting soil on it, and then planted some, like, this is going to be our community farm. Like, first and foremost, that's not enough vegetation to feed one person, realistically. Secondly, you put all your soil on top of cardboard? Why did you do that? Like, I get you guys have no idea what drainage actually is, and that, like, hey, a lot of water in the soil is not actually a good thing. Yeah, oh yeah, no, the Bloodlines 2, it was so fucking strange. Again, I didn't listen to any of their, like, marketing materials. I didn't listen to any of, like, the press releases or anything like that they had about it. I just saw the videos. The video goods. No. Busy. Escape. Owie. Owie, that hurts. He dead. Ah, I'm almost dead, though. Oh, no. bastard bitch. Yeah, I agree. Ooh. Bastard bitch. Right, so don't go that way to get our farming in. We gotta go this way. Penguins. Penguins! Emperor penguins by the looks of it. Ooh. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, good. Penguins. Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I had basically wrote off the project after the whole Chris Avalon debacle, right? That's kind of what, like, decided for me that they were kind of doomed, because they were playing the woke agenda instead of actually, like, giving a shit. They were virtue signaling. And if you ever have a company that virtue signals, you already know, like, their priority is, you know, social credit brownie points with the fucking ultimate authority, not with actually, like, producing a good product, right? And it sucks to say it that way, but at the end of the day, that's what games are. Games are a product. Ah, Cedar. Cedar, but we only just met. I think I need to go on a date first. Hey, nice. Got all of it. Yep. Well, I guess let's be fair, Grindus. That isn't true. If you're pandering to the fan base, right, the actual, like, players and everything, that's when it's like, you know what your audience is. You know who your target is. When you start pandering to everyone, that's the problem. It isn't the fact that they pander to anyone. It's when you do it in such a broad stroke. You're like, oh, everybody. Every single person on the planet. Like, that's, one, not realistic. But yeah. Money on the table. Yes. Chris Avalon was one of the original writers for Bloodlines 2. And then the accusations came out, which ended up being completely false, and the accusers got what they fucking deserved. I wish more people would stand up to their fucking accusers, so, like, all these false claims would actually be, you know, investigated. Oh, that was my big pet peeve with, like, Greek and Cree servers. Like, no, I'm saying that, like, there's a huge false accusation problem. Because false accusers never face fucking consequences. It is so rare that it's, like, more likely that you will win the lottery than you will actually face consequences for false, like, rape accusations and everything. Which is so fucking annoying. So I'm so glad that his accusers all got absolutely fucked. Like, I am so glad they had to pay out the fucking nose, issue formal apologies and everything, and they're now known as fucking liars for the rest of their lives. Like, in every court filing and everything like that, and be like, well, they are infamously known for being completely dishonest. Okay. Right, so I want to start making a garden plot. And I guess we can just do it straight out front. This is a lot of permafrost. Whoa! Oh, dang it! No, it went to normal dirt. No. Thank you. And they're very picky about, like, I need to do 2 more. Okay. And now we need a hoe. Ho there. I don't know if this will work. You know what I mean? I don't know what the mechanics are in Hytale versus normal Mooncraft. So I'm going to try it like this, and then I think I'm going to put like a water source on this side. So put water in here. I just got to make a bucket. A bucket because fuck it. Actually. Yeah, here we go. 1 iron ingot. Well, that's a good thing I've got an iron here. Right next to it, right? I mean, I'll see how this works. You know what I mean? We gotta figure things out. A bucket? Because fuck it. I like that they do block blending as well. And that little cave was over here. Ah! Bad Mr. Whiskers! Bad kitty! Oh my god. Really? Oh, okay. Okay, water is a little fucky-wucky. Got it. No, it was a kitty. As I said, a very bad kitty. What are you? Oh. Oh, hello there. And I have no idea how this is going to actually function, so we're just gonna take it one step at a time, right? Eat my Old Bay fish. What are these? Goldfish crackers. Old Bay goldfish. No, Timmy, you're ugly. Get out of here. Oh, you're talking. Okay, strange. I can't go up. Okay, now I can. Very strange. Alright, so hang on. I'm going to see if this works. Whoa. Nope. So, looks like infinite water source is not a thing. Right? So, fair enough. Try these. I mean, I don't blame them if they're trying something different. You know what I mean? I don't blame them. Peppers. Yep, peppers and tomatoes. We're trying. I just want to see how it works, and I had peppers and tomatoes. So, chilies and tomatoes right here, so I'm trying it. Milk coos. Like I said, I don't know how deep the mechanics are. If this was Vintage Story, oh, absolutely, this would not work. But again, I don't know how deep our mechanics are here in Hytale. So, we're just seeing. We're seeing how it goes. Lituche. Oh, hang on. Let's try this because we can generate a Lituche, right? Yeah. See, I'll craft the Lituche. Lituche. Hmm. I guess let's make the armorer's bench, right? Oh, my ears! Bastard bitch. Get rid of that. Okay. Oh, yeah, see, they're growing. They're growing. A wheat seed here. Why is that one different? I mean, is that just an unfortunate thing with wheat seeds? Oh. I only just noticed. Okay. So we can start building up like a thing. Okay, so this is a lot darker. Cedar log is much darker. What? Tavern stuff. Okay. Wait, what is? Can ice be turned into anything? Oh no. Well, if Found that out immediately. Let's see, shale and basalt. Basalt can. Ooh. Dark Temple wardrobe, Dark Temple window, Dark Temple doors. The ladder is just chains in a Dark Temple? Good lord. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. By golly. By crikey. Alright, well, again, while that's growing, while we're thinking things through, go down, get some extra water, and I'll do the 2x2. Normally, again, in Minecraft, if you do 2x2, corner, it will, it'll make an infinite water source. But let's fill in everything normally and see what happens. Oh, I just splashes it. Okay. Was that a trilobite? Look at that. I will say, creature variety already massive compared to Minecraft. And that's not too difficult because Minecraft is pretty, you know, infamously lackadaisical about actually adding things in. Which is very strange. Nope. Doesn't do anything. Okay. Group has been over there the entire time. I like how it takes a whole year of work to add a new mob that players voted to be added into Minecraft, yeah. Minecraft is very, very sluggish in like everything it does. I guess I'm more... Fuck, a Charlie horse at the perfect time. Ow. Okay, I guess I'm more of the opposite. I like having more options for like build variety and everything, right? That's why I'm more frustrated. A deadwood fence. Deadwood? Fur. What's the thing? Is it still a money printer? Like, I can see you saying it's a money printer in earlier days, but is it still one now? That's a hardwood fence. And what's a deadwood? We'll find out at some point. All right. Took over this lovely shack. Yep. Wait, is that a thing now in the PC version? Because that was just for like Xbox and things like that, the console plebeians. I mean, maybe. Could be. Yeah. Like I said, that I understand because that was always a thing for the console plebeians. That's why we made fun of them so much. Give me that. Okay. It's just my lovely home I commandeered doesn't have much room, so I'm gonna have to do this, which is a little awkward, but that's okay. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, I want to see how this looks. Oh, hang on, wait, can I? So, no, this is a placeable lantern? Okay. Okay. Alright, well, I mean, that's interesting. Ray tracing annoys me because it's interesting idea, but it's such a buzzword gimmick now. So what is this? Lumberjack platform. Oh, yeah, that's grim. Oh my god, how do I want to go that with that? Yes, I do. Because I'm a goober. Boop. Yeah, total visual fluff. Doesn't actually do anything for us. Boop. Etuche. Beep. Tomato. Beep. Chili. Is there a way to break these down into more of themselves? Or is it just essence of life we're using here? Like by squirrels? Like by camels? Oh! Like by goats, rams, and mouflons? Not like by anybody. Okay, can't do that in the forge. Letuche. Now you discovered. So we have to actually discover recipes. I guess, there's a campfire. Oh. Beep. Yeah, so you technically get more essence of life to make more food. But I don't like that it's, what's the word for it? I figured this might say like by like wolves or something. That'd be nice. Okay, I'm gonna go put the stuff in the air fryer real quick, and it's gonna be the 6 minutes. Come back, do some stuff. 6 minutes again. So, BRB momento. Old world blues. Which letter should be the main one, and then creates offshoots of an already existing one, because leftism. Not surprised. Not surprised in the slightest. Alright. I'm going to risk going a little deeper into our exploratory mine here. I feel like we have to hit an an actual, like, cave system ourselves at some point, right? Oh, slate cobble. We're going down to the slate now. Gotta make more torches. More torches. Oh, I should check if I have an eye. I should be very fucking careful right now. I need to go to see if I need to go mine more copper. Or if we're okay. And can build another pick like right now. Ooh! Yeah, I need to go get copper. Okay. Good thing I checked that first. Whoa! Going to the mine we know we have. There we go. Whoa! He was like, oh my god! It thinks it's people! Run! Whoa. Whoa. Nothing. You. Ah! Oh. I was working in the mines one day. Ooh, an abandoned mine. Ooh, abandoned mines. Hooray. Okay, okay. Strange visual bug. Smeared health potion. Blue moss. There's a pretty poop abandoned mine. One little turn and that's it. What a shit mine. Goblins! Greeble goblin! Greeble gooblers. Alright. Oh, those bats. Ah! Oh, there's another one down below me, okay. Ow. Oh, nice. Oh, ow! Oh my god, okay, so I can destroy the train quite handily. I do appreciate that it's not totally pitch black, right? It's pretty fucking dark. It's not totally pitch black without a light source. Ratos! 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 Is that like a destroyed ruin up there? Ooh. Ooh. Another health potion. Nice, very nice. Got some more iron at least. You mean, have I ever done the werewolf transformation in Terraria? Of course. Ooh, that's a hideous looking spider. Wow. Sit down, buddy. You're not the main character. The only copper. Well, it's enough to get us the copper pick. Wow! We passed Q. Oh, we don't want to go down. Oh, I need to go back up. Oh, that way. Okay. I'm curious what's up here, though. Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, can you not build? Ooh. Kratos. Lesser stamina. Birch log. Oh, free iron. Nice. Woo! Yes. Die, rato. Die. Die, rato. Woo. Ew. At least it was food that was in like old barrels and things like that, right? Like, yeah, it should have been all rotted and stuff like that, but you know, it is what it is. Especially for early access and in a Minecraft style game, right? Like, it's definitely not Vintage Story. Vintage Story would have fucked me over. For that been like, you thought the food in an old abandoned mine would be edible. Oh, enjoy your painful end. Okay. Pitch you into the furnace. Vintage Story is great, but be prepared, because it's, you're gonna need the TISM to understand a lot of the mechanics. Because they get into extreme detail in Vintage Story. Especially when you start getting into, like, advanced tool making and things like that. Heat! Kill ice! Kill the ice blocks! Bastards. Yeah, Vintage Story is very complex. That's a fucking understatement for a century. Like, you actually have to build charcoal pits and things like that, so that you can manufacture charcoal, because charcoal is the only thing that'll get hot enough to actually smelt ores. So, yes, 100%. And you actually need to build like proper mine supports when you go mining, because you can get collapses that happen. And collapses have killed many a Vintage Story player. Holy shit. The number of deaths to mining collapse is quite high. Oh. They have their specific temperatures. Each ore has its actual target temperatures and everything in Vintage Story. Yeah, support beams not optional. Nope, you need to put support beams in all over the place. You need to actually support your mines and your infrastructure. Because otherwise, you're in for a bad time. Okay. Ugh. God, so gross. Oh, okay. Cool. What's all massive cave system collapse? The funniest one I've ever seen was, I think it was Rubik's Raptor and his group were playing Vintage Story. And they attacked, or was it Remy? Maybe it was Remy down under. But they attacked a town, took it over, and then the time dragon showed up. I just love. He was like, "Oh my god!" And it went to the people that were hiding inside the cellar and stuff like that. And they had blocked off the door, and they're like doing the muffled voices of the people outside, going like, "Let us in! Let us in! Let us in!" Oh. I hear the screaming of the damned. Okay, so. No? Okay. How do I use it? Oh, okay. That's how I use it. Oh my god, we're doomed! What's it? Does this do anything? No, okay. I guess that'll be for, like, when we get the salvaging bench and, you know, we can break this stuff down. Alright, I need to go flip the stuff, and I'll be right back. I'm back. I gotta. Here in 6 minutes, I'll go get my food. Yeah. I guess let's be brave. Let's go attack the settlement here, shall we? Let's be brave. What is that? Oh my god, it's a giant! Woofers! They've got tamed woofies! Tell me your secrets. Tell me your secrets. I wish to know your ways. Whoa. Okay. Oh. Ooh. Who's shooting arrows at me? From where? I can't see. There's a bit of a design flaw with this tower. Oh my god. Blech. Oh. I broke it. Not my fault. Die! Ow! Oh! Choo! Choo bastard. Choo bastard, come here. Come here. God, they do so much damage, though. He, like, chunked me. Chunked me for damage. What? Ow! What is happening? Ow! Oh my god, I got him. Oh. Oh. Dang, you shit. Oh. A lovely little home. It's a shame the townspeople are such assholes, but you know, a lovely, lovely little house. Alright, I'll be right back a second. I'm gonna go grab the stuff out of the air fryer. BRB. that's gonna take a while to cool down. Woo! Burn my little fingies. Okay. Oh, here we go. I do have a lot of arrows and stuff. Might steal this bed, maybe. Tempted. No, I'm gonna do it. Steal this bed. Oh, and I took out some of the building with it. Okay. Ooh, that's a spooky chest. Dark temple chest. Okay. It's a nice big house. Boom powder. I gotta assume explosive. Okay. Okay. I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Oh no. Oh. You saw nothing? I was not here? Oh no, he cometh. He cometh! Okay. Yeah! Ow. Yeah! Much better fight against the berserker that time. Much better fight. The berserker was the ones that scared me because they're so rapid fire damage. Ow! Fuck. Those guys just throw darts, huh? All I had with Minecraft is performance. That's fair. Ooh, hey, a free copper pick. I'll take it. I'm Raz and Psychonauts. I'll take it. Bap, bap, bap. So what you get for sleeping? Fucking berserker. rubber gauntlets. Hell yeah. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. But I was tired, Barf. Ah! Oh my god. Up there, up there. There we go. Die. Bastard. Oh, hey, free bow. Hell yeah. A free bow. Ammo +1. What's that mean? That's a cool statue. Maybe double shot. That'd be cool. So just a pin for their woofies. Because they have woofies inside. I have seen them. That's not fair. I can't shoot through that. Teetsy doodles. Figure out how to get up there. Go to the top of that tower. Oh, first shot and a hit. Oh. And invisible wall. Okay. Thunk. Hello. Housekeeping. Ooh, thorium. Hell yeah. Hello there, iron battle axe. Yes. And a repair kit for me. Oh, yeah. I got an upgrade. Upgrade. We've got an upgrade for the Christmas. War Pig lies in the forest where he fell. His marker reading, that'll do, Pig. Wow. That'll reference, Pig. That'll reference. Ah! The wolfies can get out! Ah! Sorry, wolfies! Sorry, wolfies! I'm sorry, wolfies. I was specifically. I didn't know you guys. I didn't know you guys could fit in that little gap. Oh. Oh. Ah! More wolfies! More woofies! Are you just summoning woofies? Oh my god, I think it's just summoning wolves. Yes, it is. Hey, so you want a fucking infinite wolf farm? Ah, I'm out of herbs. Ow! I'm sorry, woofies. It's not you I'm after. I'm after those assholes in there. You just unfortunately happen to be in the way. God, as it makes up a bajillion more woofies. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. I was gonna do that. I was like, yo, yeah, let's make it easier for the wolves to get to me. Oh. Oh, no! No! I see them! They're coming! Ah! Oh my god! Right! I'm here! I wasn't worried at all. You were worried. Yeah, I moved into a very bad neighborhood. I just need to make myself a bunch of errors. Bunch of errors. Lots of errors. If I get enough errors, I can just keep slapping them with them. I'm curious. Can we use magic? Because Strithelfur would be able to use an axe because of the Axe of the Moonlight, and then the Shadow Sting bow. Well, technically he'd be able to use Strithelfur's ballista, but you know, I don't think this game would have that. Which is just like the Shadow Sting bow, but souped up to be, wow. Instead of being a pinpoint precision and silent thing, becomes not silent and more like hitting something with an anti-tank rifle. The crack of thunder as that thing lets loose the ballista bolt and just absolutely, well, whatever's on the receiving end is having a not good day, even if it's a target or a wall. It's not having a pleasant day. Oh. Okay. Neat. I'm having a rather pleasant day, thank you. Alright, hang on, I need to see something here. Oh my god, alright. I thought I actually had to be there. Like, for some of these other ones, you have to stay here and actually craft your thing. I was actually concerned that I was going to have to sit there the whole time. Like, this may, in fact, be awful. That's a bed? Ugh. It's a horrible bed. Thorium ingots. Ugh. Oh, okay. Are there only crude arrows? Is there any, like, Fletcher service? Okay, right, well. That seems a bit silly. I have no concept what that what that is. That seems a bit much. Oh, hey, I can still get to it. It's like I made a little bit of a whoopsie there. Oh, I guess because it's been so long. Okay. Alright, fine. They decay. Fine. I'm not upset, you're upset. When you say Phil. Oh, thank fuck. Oh, shit. Guess that's just full now forever. Just put wood in this. woody stuff out of here. Oh, there it is. I was like, where the fuck did those go? Wood and wood byproducts. Leather, we can put the tools and things like that. We don't need... watering can, bucket. Bucket because fuck it. I don't think I can fit it up here. Yeah, it's a bit of a chonker. So, for now, throw you in there. Whoops, wrong one. Throw you in there. Okay. And then let's go into the mines. Hold on. Okay. Bastard Bitchiston. Well, I knew there was something with those neighbors. I'm going to try and dig down here again, because if I can go straight into a cave network from here, that'd be fantastic. And usually that's what happens. You'll eventually go into one. It won't be useful in any way, shape, or form. I think it looks a lot better. I enjoy some of the new mechanical stuff to it. Like, I actually like having multiple new weapon types. That's really nice. I don't know what nap is. Yeah, but the odds are you'll run into a cave first. Before you hit bedrock. Just because of like how the cave generation system works, right? There's so many different layers. What's the non-aggression principle? Ooh. Cobalt. Pip, what's the non-aggression principle? In terms of what context? What are we working with here? Volcanic cobble? Well, that makes me worried. Keep a little bit of a degree of separation. I broke it. You're free so long as you don't aggress on someone or their property first? Alright then, define what aggress means. You ever see one of the last neat things Blizzard ever made? A Hearthstone trailer done like an 80s fantasy movie about kobolds? Right. I have not. Now I'm interested though. Alright, so I think we've just gotten unlucky. And we picked one of the spots that won't actually intersect a mine. Won't intersect a cavern at some point. Normally that's hard to do. Because there's so many different layers and things like that. But I guess there are, like, areas where there can be wide areas of no caverns whatsoever. What's the minimum threshold of aggressor? That's the thing. Like, that sounds super vague and wishy-washy. What do you mean by aggressor? Like, in the act of committing a crime? And then what crimes do you have on the books? Like, what's your crime? Like, what crimes are punishable in this non-aggressor system? I'll have to check it out. I will have to check it out. And we got a bunch of cobalt. Cobalt. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. They're the ones obsessed with candles, too. My candle! My candle! Yeah, I'm curious to see it. Let's check it out. You know, we'll do that before we end the stream. Whoops. Let's peep it. Let's peep it, shall we? I assume it's the Kobolds and Catacombs trailer? Let's peep her. Okay. And just un cos.
Legends tell of a vast underground world and the countless treasures that lie in store for worthy adventurers.
This isn't it? Okay. Wrong. Okay. What is it then? Oh, so it is Kobolds and Catacombs, but not the right trailer. Okay. The light candle. All right. Here we go.
A man in search of adventure. A woman in search of her true self. A roguishly handsome kobold king in search of that woman. A bard in search of a tuning fork. From Blizzard Entertainment comes an...
This is absolutely like, yeah, this is a pretty good retro trailer for sure.
adventure of tongue-waggling proportions. An epic saga of danger, love, talking skeletons, terrifying catacombs, kobolds, and thrills so supreme they'll take both your candle and breath away.
Don't take it! Don't take it!
Written by King Togwaggle. Directed by King Togwaggle. Starring King Togwaggle. And some humans. And some other kobolds. This Groundhog Day, don't pay for a whole theater seat. You'll only need the edge. Kobolds and...
That's a pretty funny line. Don't pay for the whole theater seat. You'll only need the edge. That's a pretty fucking good line.
catacombs.
Yeah, that was fun. That was actually genuinely fun. Holy shit. Remember when Blizzard could actually have fun? And they weren't a cesspit. Oh, chat. No. No. Parting is such sweet. Wait. Yeah. Alright, chat. Meanwhile, next week, not tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be watching Zootopia 2. First time I've ever seen it. We're going to discuss Zootopia 2 on Monday. Tuesday, we're going to talk about Sentence to Be a Hero, so hopefully you guys watch that. But we're also going to do some... Now, we're not only going to just talk about Sentence to Be a Hero, but we are going to do probably some Vampire. Start that. Yeah. Let me switch over to the proper screen. Whew. Yeah, we got Vampire to go through. I've got... what's it called? Brain work. War Tales at some point we could do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what we're doing in the future. We got to get Everwind at some point as well. Oh, and we have to do some Starship Troopers Extermination. They have the new patch out. It was literally yesterday. And it has the Marauder suits and everything in it now. The Marauder program is officially in. And right now it's mutators only, but they say that the mutators is going to be their like introduction to the Marauder suits, and then we'll go from there. Right? We'll actually see what to do. Oh, and also napalm and flamethrowers and everything like that will actually destroy bug nests and stuff now. So hooray! Hooray! I'll be jumping back in. In the meantime, though, chat, hopefully you guys take care. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get fit, get ripped. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now, everyone.